Souls, welcome back to your daily divine messages from Spirit. Happy Friday. We are going to be tuning into our energy for the weekend and see what kind of messages from Spirit that we have to help us move on to our next step to take into account for this weekend. If you're new to my channel, welcome, beloveds. My name is Princess Leah. I'm an intuitive artist and healer. I pull from the highest frequencies of conscious love so we can heal the heart of a man, the heart of a woman, the soul of all kind. And that's a different way that I've said that before. So interesting that that is the way that Spirit wanted me to say it today. And so yes, I use the performing arts, the healing arts, and I use tarot, I use oracles, affirmations, numerology. I'm an astrology enthusiast. I also tap into some prophetic downloads using this beautiful heart chakra sound bowl. So if you're a returning family or friend, welcome back, beloved. So I am feeling some Friday energy, but we also have a big weekend. We have a full moon this weekend tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but on the 12th. Tomorrow is the 10th, so that'll be Monday the 12th. And that is going to be our full moon in Scorpio. So we are feeling this weekend are going to be the pre-shadows. The portal is open. Full moon in Scorpio is a big energy, okay? Pluto and Mars are the ruling planets over Scorpio. And you may have heard me chat about it earlier this week that last Sunday Pluto went retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, and it will be in that sign in retrograde until about October. So we have about 5.5 months or so where we will be feeling the Plutonian energies of transformation by facing your deepest fears, death and rebirth, ego death, dark nights, where we're going to be reflecting on all of those. I'm hearing reflecting on the cycle, on those reoccurring cycles, reflecting on the loops that we have been feeling stuck in, reflecting on the toxic karmic patterns that we need to release, the addictions, the codependencies, the areas, the relationships, the things within ourselves, the skeletons, all of that we're going to be working on. So you may be hearing me talk about it quite a bit because this is really big energy. Pluto is a really major transformative planet. This Monday with this Pluto, full moon in Scorpio, that's also very big energy as it's, in congruence and in this alignment with this Pluto in retrograde. So just be aware. You might be feeling some triggers, some irritations, some frustrations. You might be feeling very exposed and raw. This is a vulnerable weekend because the dark shadows, the deep energies, deep feelings and emotions are going to be coming up. Maybe things that have been held back for a while. I think it's interesting. I don't know if you noticed it here, but as I was talking about Pluto and the Scorpio, the lighting, maybe it was just on my end, but the lighting on the camera looked like it got really bright. And that just, again, takes me back to like, basically this Pluto retrograde is going to be like being in a really scary dark room and being scared of whatever monsters might be in the closet or under your bed, and then turning the light on so that you can actually see what is in the closet, what's under the bed. And chances are you might recognize that those weren't monsters. They were just dust bunnies, right? That you've been pushing under the rug, or skeletons that you've been putting in the closet. Those were just like I'm hearing worn out, outdated outfits and shoes that just need to be released, that just need to be donated, that just need to be cleansed and cleared out of your space. So take that as it resonates. It could be literal for you, spring cleaning time, but that could also be metaphorical as far as, you know, what you need to be releasing as far that is no longer fitting your life, your lifestyle, your belief systems, your personality, your purpose, your desires, the people in your life that you feel like are holding you back. You can see these cards that are pulled up as I was shuffling. The shuffling card was, you know, here with the Astro Matrix Tarot. It's funny because I was refusing to like land on a card, which is, again, I'm hearing that as like feeling resistant to, which is interesting that we ended up with the Wheel of Fortune, feeling resistant to your destiny, or feeling resistant to your fate, feeling resistant to what you need to release in order to walk in alignment with your purpose, your truth. And that can mean cutting out certain people, cutting out certain habits, cutting out certain just things that are really uncomfortable for you to sit in now. Pluto is making it where it is unbearable for you to sit in. And this retrograde energy, this full moon in Scorpio, is going to be bringing all of that depth up to the surface. But I saw the Two of Swords. I saw the Nine of Swords. I saw the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, which is Plutonian energy. And then the Wheel of Fortune. And so I think that is a very telling, before we even really get into the shuffling for sure for the weekend, that is already the kind of energy that's trying to like, you know, give us some awareness of, you know, the thing about oracles, the thing about tarot is that it's not telling any kind of fortune. It's bringing up the energies that are most prevalent and dominant in the space right now, right? And so I think that this is very telling as we have the transformation card and the Beyond Lemuria deck. I typically have them pulled over so you don't see, so it's face down, but I was called to show you what's already at the bottom of the deck after doing some shuffling, and how transformation is coming up. Transformation number 53 reduces to number 8, which is the infinite abundance, infinite cycles, ending and beginning. The Wheel of Fortune number 10 is also the same thing, the end of a cycle, which also reduces to 1, which is a brand new beginning. So we are this weekend is already telling us that this is going to be a major transformative weekend in terms of ending old cycles, beginning new cycles, coming to a completion with something, whether that's an idea, whether that's a realization of how you want to move forward. With the Two of Swords that I saw, you might be feeling some anxiety. Maybe you're having some really vivid, uncomfortable dreams, you know, because something in your psyche is trying to work through whatever it is that you're needing to work through. Something in your subconscious. And actually take, you know, I'm hearing take your dreams and journal them, no matter how, if they were uncomfortable to journal, if they were or if they were awesome to journal. All of them have some sort of message that is trying to help you work through something subconsciously. It's not always about the actual, you know, action that's happening in the dream, but it has something to do with what is happening. I called a friend last weekend about a dream that was from 2017, 8 years ago, and we worked, you know, kind of looked at that dream and kind of did some deeper dive. I've been kind of sitting with that and seeing how it's working around and how it's correlating with what's going on in my life currently as well. And then last night I had a dream about an audition that I went on, and you know, it was so interesting. And it basically, when I woke up, I went down to journal it, and I was like, oh, I checked my email in my dream. Maybe I should check my email to see if I heard back from them. And I did. Yesterday they emailed me. 2 days ago they also emailed me, and it was so interesting. It was like, you know, if you don't respond back in a timely manner, or then you could lose your spot in the event. And so I just think that that is something that also is telling, that has to do with particular, you know, there's something about time, but there's also something about time of the essence. Time is the essence. Not necessarily in an urgent way, because I am with that Nine of Swords, and especially with the energy around me, that feels like there's some sort of urgency, but like not, you know, like there's something that, and I'm hearing urgency is a form of, you know, the lack mentality, the scarcity mentality that we're breaking free from. That's what we're transforming out of. And because it's breaking us out of this poverty mentality that we don't have enough time, that we don't have enough money, we don't have enough space, we don't have enough talent, right? And so that urgency that I'm feeling as far as the Nine of Swords, that warning kind of energy. Maybe you're feeling a bit paranoid about certain things. Can you trust certain things? Can you trust certain people? Can you trust yourself, right? And so this is what this weekend wants you to really sit down and give yourself the safe space to journal, reflect, and just like really sit with. And I'm hearing with yourself more so with others, unless you have like a trusted like therapist or friend. But I'm even hearing like just some like, try not to talk too much about your paranoias with people who might add to that paranoia or will add their fears along, you know, too, or like project, right? So just be mindful of that, of how you keep your your energy to yourself right now, because it's not that you're trying to repress it, it's more so that you're trying to protect your energy by not exposing this rawness that's very vulnerable to the wrong people and spaces, if that makes sense. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So those are some prophetic downloads that are coming through, and then we'll do a little bit more shuffling for the weekend. Okay, but let's place our hand on our heart and see if there's any other prophetic downloads from the heart space that Spirit wants us to know. Let me take a deep breath, letting your breath transform your energy, transmute your energy. Release all of the unnecessary toxins, is what I'm hearing. Take your time. Move at your own pace, even if everything around you tries to tell you that it's urgent and that you don't get to have the time to yourself. Because you do. You get to have the time that you need so that you are not forcing yourself out of a space that could be detrimental in the long run. People think, oh, if I just bypass, oh, if I just push it back to tomorrow, or if I just push it down so I can work hard because we got to get this deadline in, or because we got to get this paper in, or because we got to, you know, whatever the case is of this like warning, of this urgency. But if you're bypassing what it is that you are feeling, then that's where the dust bunnies under the bed become monsters, right? And there can be some guilt around taking time for yourself or allowing yourself to move at the pace that you need to move at. Your pace, your best, your productivity is different than everyone else. Their productivity is different than yours. And just because it works for them doesn't mean it has to work for you. And it's hard, especially if you feel like, oh, well, I have to do this. My boss is paying me, so I have to work for them in a way that they want me to. I have to do this if they ask me to come in on my day off. I have to do this if they want me to do all this stuff, or if they have a deadline for me. I have to, if they're hitting a deadline, I have to hit the deadline, and all that urgency. But again, that's letting the external create chaos. When you're in a space of transformation, when you're in a space of deep reflection, it sucks because this world's not going to pay you for your deep reflections. But universe does, source does in different ways. Source does in all different ways. It may not look like the direct transaction of you put in this time and I pay you this amount of dollars. But if you continue to flow and stay in alignment with your soul, with your purpose, with your heart, with your healing, with your transforming into your fortune, that is spinning the wheel for your fortune. That spirit, that God, Jah, source, divine, however you want to call it, is tallying up to pay on your behalf in a way that you may not be able to see or understand, because our human ego mind only hears pay as a form of currency through money. But energy is a currency. Even just sitting in the space or validating someone is a currency. Peace, a peaceful essence, is a currency. Bringing someone peace, offering love. When people feel better around you, that is a currency. But you can't offer that if you are constantly in the 9 of Swords, anxiety, because you're not allowing yourself to fully transform if you are giving everyone else permission to control you and manipulate your energy and your emotions to their agenda and their benefit. Even if it is mutually beneficial for all, the most benefit that is important first is making sure that you are in alignment with Source. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So, let's see what we have for this weekend forecast. We know we're going through a transformation. The Wheel of Fortune. Actually, my son and I were watching the Wheel of Fortune for like dinner, during dinner the other night. It was kind of fun. It was a celebrity Wheel of Fortune. But, and of course it was the 2 characters out of the 3 were from one of his favorite movies, Sonic. So we loved that. But the Wheel of Fortune, transformation into your destiny. It's written in the stars. What's already written in the stars for you is aligning. What's already written in the stars for you is inevitable. So don't worry too much. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. If you're someone who is always worried about deadlines, if you're someone who's always worried about getting things in on time, if you're worried about always being late, again, that's where this urgency, that's unnecessary urgency I'm hearing. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. And I know, again, for the workaholics in the house that are saying, I don't consider myself a workaholic, but I know I come from a family of workaholics. So it's like this, like, you have to keep doing something. If you're not producing, then you're failing. If you're not being productive, then you're being lazy. And it's like, if people need you, if there's a deadline, especially coming from a family of doctors, where it's like literally emergency room, literally people calling, literally all this stuff needing in, having to make sure that you get it into the deadline for insurance, blah, blah, blah. It's like you become a slave to time and to other people's agendas, to the deadlines. Interesting. So 6 of Cups here. At the bottom of the deck, this says something around family, siblings, childhood. I'm hearing like, and even past life. So this weekend, let's explore this energy. This weekend, we're going to maybe be taken back. Maybe that's going to be some things that are going to be coming up for you that are going to be, and that's interesting that, yeah, this is for, we're, let me see what Spirit's trying to come through. Because I feel very jumbled on trying to say words. I'm trying to start, and then I can't find the words. So maybe that's how you're feeling. Honk for confirmation. Maybe you're feeling like there were some false starts in the past. Maybe you feel like you started off your life and your childhood was kind of a false start. Interesting. That's an interesting way to say it. Maybe you feel like your childhood, your relationships, maybe you've had relationships. This could be a relationship with someone from childhood or lifelong, past life, and you feel like you just keep getting off on the wrong foot, wrong start, false starts. But I'm hearing that there's something in inner child, something in your childhood that's going to be coming up that you're going to be transforming through. And I love that I shared this story about my dream and stuff like that, because from 2017, because that was when I first became a mother. I was 4 months postpartum, and so much of my inner childhood trauma came up 4 months after I had my son. And ever since then, I started my chakra healing journey. I started my energy healing journey. I started really diving into spiritual development, even though I was already years before that coming into such spiritual awakenings. But it was expanding a part of my consciousness into depths of that were hidden for years, 20 years. And so this weekend, you might have some things from childhood, from your siblings, or with there's like a little like grandma nanny in the back. I don't know, maybe with your grandma. Or just like some things that, you know, maybe even just wanting to play as a child that might come up, being like, I never even had a childhood because I was constantly working. That can be for some. Or I constantly had to, I grew up too soon. I became an adult too soon because I had to take care of my parents, or I had to take care of my own child as a child, or I had to, you know, fill in the blank. So that I'm feeling that might be coming up. 3 of Pentacles. And so 3 of Pentacles of this, I'm hearing like this is where the work begins. This is where you will find your work, your true work, the inner child healing work is what I'm hearing. This is where the work begins with your childhood. That's going to be coming up. And maybe you feel like I had a really fun childhood. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't have any trauma. I didn't have any like issues. My parents are still together and I feel good. I feel like I didn't have any issues. Well, I'm hearing to still look back at your childhood and see what areas did you feel like you were included. What areas did you feel like you were excluded? What areas did you feel like your skill set was received and validated, or where do you feel like your strengths were disregarded? I'm hearing, you know, this is not to make you look for reasons to be upset about your childhood. This is what is going to inevitably come up this weekend with this Pluto energy, with the full moon in Scorpio, that may come up of like, again, if there are areas in your life now as an adult, maybe it could be with work. Where is that? How is that portraying from your childhood? How is that stemming up from your childhood? If you have a hard time working with others, where in your childhood is this coming up? And again, this could be childhood, this could be siblings, family, this could be past life. This could also, I'm hearing even like elementary school, like the school system that made you kind of feel Like, this is how I have to work. This is how I have to be. This is how I have to do. You know, Aquarius is the system, is the innovator outside the box, looking outside the box. What is not working for humanity, and how can we be more creative and try alternative methods and solutions to help us find the best? Look at this, communication, co-creation, 3 of Pentacles energy again. Number 21. So maybe something when you turn 21 that could be significant for someone. I just heard Forever 21. So maybe you like that store. Maybe you worked there. I don't know. That was my first job. So that's kind of funny. But communication, co-creation. Forever 21. 21 is also the world card in the major arcana, which is the final major arcana, the end of an old world. Communication, co-creation. How can you utilize your strengths, the strengths that you have learned? You might hear some background voices. That's the Divine Alchemy meditation. Look at this. We have home and we have starseed elemental. Okay, some of you are feeling homesick if you feel like you are not home in your true element. And that could be in this, you know, place that you're currently living, specifically here on Earth. Maybe you feel like maybe you are not living at home. Maybe you are away from home, so you're feeling some homesickness with your friends, family. Maybe you just feel like this earth is not your home. And you're feeling homesick to go back to your galactic starseed home. Whatever that is. I actually heard it's so funny because I was talking to a friend about, you know, feeling like I am a starseed, and she asked me, well, what starseed do you feel like you're from? And I was like, I don't know, but I don't know. You know, Pleiadian comes to mind a lot because I can remember it. And she's like, well, you should probably figure that out. And I went and I looked online and I kind of read all of them, and I felt like they all resonated with me. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I don't know how to say, but I feel like they all resonate, but I don't know. So what's crazy is that not soon after, or not, I mean, it was very soon after, a video came on of another reader and channeler and oracle, and literally the title was, for the star seeds, you belong to all of them and none of them. And I immediately thought that was hilarious, and I almost sent that to her, I forgot, but like, I just thought that was so funny because I was just like, wow, that answers, thank you for that confirmation, because I was feeling like, oh, I should know better. I should know where I'm at. Oh, I feel like I'm, you know, I don't know my shit and I'm phony and blah, 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 right? But I just love that she confirmed for me, you belong everywhere and nowhere. Your home is source. So this might be confirmation for someone else. Look at this. Your home is where your heart is. I know that's such a cliche, but look at this high heart chakra. Your home is your bliss. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Your home is your bliss, your ecstasy. Your home. You might be feeling like, where do I belong? I don't feel, I feel very lost or unfitted, misfitted, misunderstood. I feel like I cannot function in this world the way that I'm expected to show up. And that's because, my beloved, just like Maya Angelou says, I belong everywhere and nowhere. I belong to me. You see how she's even, I know she's pointing at this North Star, this star in her heart, the star seed. But I'm also hearing she's pointing to herself, right? I'm pointing, I belong to me. And that's why this message this weekend is really empowering you to look within your high heart, your higher self, where your bliss lies, and not let anyone else try to dictate where your bliss should lie, or try to force you, or I don't want to like the word coerce or manipulate, but those are the words that want to come up, but those feel very strong, too strong for what I'm trying to say. But don't let anyone, try to sway you to believe differently about yourself, about what you need. I know you still have, there's a way that I know you're still trying to figure out, how can I be here on this earth? How can I be a human being in a spiritual star seed element, like essence, in my star seed element? But tap into your high heart. I'm seeing these hummingbirds on both the Six of Cups and the high heart. How they always circle back. They always come back. If they find a space. I have this hummingbird friend that comes to my garden on my patio every year, every summer. And it's like, if they feel safe, if they feel like wherever they feel safe or at home, they'll come back to. And I'm hearing that with your home. If you're feeling like homesick, maybe you're away from school or at school, or maybe your home is not necessarily even where you grew up or the house you grew up in, but where you just feel more held and appreciated and productive, received, admired. Maybe home could be, I know that when I lived in Colorado, like, that was my home. The mountains were my home, even though I did not grow up in Colorado. Even though I was only there for a very short period of time, there was some sort of like healing about being there for me. And places I've never been that call me, Egypt, Hawaii, all these places. And maybe you feel that same way for you. Maybe you don't even feel like any place in this world feels calling for you, but there's maybe you, like me, I'm an astrology enthusiast. I look up at the moon and I just could cry staring at her presence, being under her light. So this full moon in Scorpio, be in the presence, under the light, under the wholeness, the loving kindness of the stars, of the Scorpio energy, of the depth of your soul, the places, the depth of the water, the deepest ocean floor, the darkness that we are afraid to go, right? Because if you try to go to the bottom of the ocean, what happens? You will crush under the pressure of the water. And maybe you feel that's where Scorpio takes you, to places where you may feel like you'll be crushed if you go there. But just know that that's how you get back home. Thank you. So the affirmations today, I love this. My feelings matter. Today I choose to be confident. Oh, let me get that focus for you. My feelings matter. Look at that. The depth of your emotions, the depth of your ocean of emotions matter. So choose to be confident today. Keep reminding yourself this whole weekend. I choose to be confident today because my feelings matter. What I feel matters. What I want matters. How I feel matters. What I need matters. I'm also hearing, give that validation, and that's, for others. Remind them that their feelings matter, that they can choose to be confident and be prepared to succeed. to release the urgency, to release the lack, the scarcity, the fear. Prepare. You are prepared. Not I am preparing to succeed, but I am prepared to succeed in my ecstatic bliss. I am prepared to succeed whatever blueprint that is written in the stars for me. I am prepared to succeed as the star seed, the seed of a star, the seed of the galactic presence, the seed of the omnipresence, the seed of source, of love, is planted within my heart, is planted within my higher self, is planted within my essence and to my divine, my divinity, my divine self. Number 7. This might be a soul path number for you. And also 45 might be a significant number. 4 or 5, or reducing to 9 for starseed, elemental. 31 might also be significant, maybe soul path number. 3 or 1, reducing to 4. We have the 9 of coming into your own fulfillment, your own independence, your own self, even if you are completely different than every single person around you. No one is made like you. That's why you may feel misfitted. Even your own family hardly knows who you truly are, because they only know the human version of you if they're not willing to see the higher version of you, the star seed within you. If they don't know what that word means, if they feel like that word is triggering for them, if they think that you don't know what you're talking about, or if they feel like that's a false whatever, they have a right to feel however they feel. But in the end, ultimately, you are not of this world. And ultimately, you are your own unique individual. And what matters most is that you are connecting with your heart, your high heart. Number 6 might also be a significant number. Balance. 4, stability. 6 of Cups over here again, balance. 3 of Pentacles. Teamwork. You, me, and divinity. I say divinity or divinity. Potato, potato. Number 12, number 15 might be significant numbers. 3 and 6 again. Maybe you were born on the 12th or the 15th of July, or maybe those will be some significant dates this year. But I'm just hearing that you are prepared. You are already prepared to succeed. All that you need is within you now. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. All will be unfolded, received, given as perfectly as necessary. Your feelings matter. Yes, of course, the 9 of Swords, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling worried, those do matter. Those, and it's also okay to trust. It's also okay to be confident, to feel confident that you will succeed no matter what. No matter how much time you take to yourself, no matter how many tears you've cried, no matter how much depth you have to go in order to uncover the hole in your heart, to fill that hole in your heart with ecstatic bliss, no matter how long it takes to come into your new blueprint, your blueprint. But you are attracting the right people, the right energies, the right resources that will enable you to succeed. So choose to be confident today. That's your next step. Choose to be confident no matter what. Everything is all right. Irie and be in faith. Everything is all right in good faith. And until next time, my beautiful beloveds, thank you for joining me. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.